guys, TM Gaouette here, and welcome back to Faith Through Fiction. Now, this month we're discussing modesty. Now, it's come to a point in our culture where people kind of cringe at the word modesty. Why? Well, how well do you understand this virtue? Modesty is defined as an unassuming manner, without vanity or arrogance, a manner that is not elaborate or luxurious. But what does that mean? Well, let's consider our current era of social media with Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and X, formerly known as Twitter, and so many other forms of social media. We're consumed by posts and videos of narcissistic influencers touting their elaborate lifestyles and excessive behaviors. We're bombarded with snapshots and videos of the clothes they're wearing, or maybe not wearing, their overly made up pouty faces, the food they're eating, on and on. We're bombarded with every facet of a person's life. I mean, it's bad enough when celebrities share every aspect of their lives. Now we have to know everything about strangers who are desperate to become a celebrity by their mere existence. Modesty is the complete opposite of that. Growing up, I'd hear people described as being modest about their wealth or in their lifestyle, meaning that they didn't flaunt their wealth or lifestyle. They kept things to themselves. Modesty means so much more than what we've come to believe. So before I lose myself in another tangent, let's pass you on to fellow Catholic Teen Books author Leslea Wahl so she can introduce you to this month's featured author who will share more about what it means to be modest. Here's Leslea.
Thanks, TM. Hi, everyone. I'm Leslea Wahl. This month, our featured Catholic Teen Books author is the very talented Theresa Linden. Theresa is the author of award-winning Catholic fiction for children, teens, and adults. One of her greatest joys is to bring elements of the Catholic faith to life through a great story. Theresa's teen novels include the contemporary West Brothers series and the Chasing Liberty dystopian trilogy. Her short stories can be found in the Catholic Teen Books Visible and Invisible anthologies, Secrets, Gifts, Treasures, and Ashes. Her novels have won awards from the Catholic Media Association and have the Catholic Writers Guild seal of approval. Her titles are featured on CatholicTeenBooks.com, Catholic Reads, the Virtue Works Media. A wife, a retired homeschooling mom to 3 grown boys, and a secular Franciscan, Theresa resides in Northeast Ohio with her family, 2 cats, and a poodle. Here's Theresa.
Hi. When you hear the word modesty, what comes to mind? Do you picture frumpy clothes with sleeves down to the wrist and skirts down to the ankles? Although I think I could rock that look anyway. When you hear the word immodesty, what comes to mind? See-through fabrics or outfits that expose too much skin, or maybe short skirts and low-cut tops. Does modesty only concern girls and women, or does it apply to boys and men too? Does modesty only concern clothing? I investigated the subject to prepare for this little talk, but you'll probably relate to a lot of what I share. Modesty is a virtue, and it's key to our happiness because virtues are good habits that can help us to be happy and holy. And of course, virtues are for everyone, male and female. This virtue concerns not only how we dress, but also how we present ourselves in other ways, like the things we say and do, whether our speech or conduct are crude and negative, or whether we use restraint and decorum. Modesty also concerns interior things like our desires and goals. For example, do I want to look my best for whatever occasion, or do I desire to have all eyes on me? Modesty is decency. It promotes personal dignity and it avoids objectification. The practice of modesty also frees one from vanity, pretension, and boastfulness. The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches us that modesty protects the intimate center of a person. It means refusing to unveil what should remain hidden. The Catechism also explains there's a link between how we present ourselves and who we are at the core of our being. There is certainly more to you and more to me than one meets the eye, but immodesty can make us appear shallow. So yes, modesty inspires our choice of clothing, but also much more. It guides how we speak and look at and behave toward others, allowing us to appreciate the dignity of the person. When watching shows or searching online, modesty inspires us to look away when images show too much. The Catechism also says, modesty inspires a way of life which makes it possible to resist the allurements of fashion and the pressures of prevailing ideologies. Since the world inspires us with so many examples of immodesty, it's nice to find good examples that can inspire us to live this virtue. In one of my West Brothers stories, Life-Changing Love, 15-year-old Caitlin Summer wants to impress a boy. She's grown up dressing modestly, which makes her a bit countercultural. By choice, she wears only modest skirts and dresses, and while she's not obsessed with her appearance, she does like to look feminine. But she also likes to have fun with her style, and she typically wears mismatched socks, which probably started by accident. You would have to know this character to understand that. But she has since embraced the practice, and now she does it on purpose. In Life-Changing Love, Caitlin has never had a boyfriend, and to her knowledge, she's not even been on a boy's radar. But her best friend has always had boyfriends since junior high, and she has a lot of advice for Caitlin. So as Caitlin prepares for the youth group camping trip, her best friend encourages her to pack the jeans she once gave Caitlin for Christmas. Caitlin would never wear these jeans in front of her parents. They're skin tight and they accentuate every curve and dimple of her body. But at her best friend's encouragement, she wears them camping. And yes, she draws the attention of the boy she likes, along with every other boy nearby. But it doesn't take long for Caitlin to realize this is not the kind of attention she wants. She doesn't want to be objectified. She wants others to get to know who she is, the real her, and not just how she fits in her jeans. Benefits that Caitlin has discovered from practicing modesty. She remains true to herself and has a positive self-image. Others respect her, and she shows respect for others. Others can get to know the real her. She is much more than what shows on the outside. She has confidence and freedom and less concern with how others view her. She gets to wear comfortable clothes and create her own style rather than be a slave to the style of the day. And because she has made modesty her habit, she's not as influenced by peer pressure. Instead, she thinks for herself. The practice of modesty has also opened the doors to a deeper spiritual life. And if you continue to the new adult titles inspired by the West Brothers series, you will also discover that her modesty is key in finding her future husband. So how do you make the practice of modesty your own? First, turn to God in prayer. Ask Him to grant you this virtue or to preserve this virtue in you. If you struggle with modesty, you might want to ask St. Maria Goretti to pray for you. She is the young saint who rejected the impure advances of a young man, and then she was attacked and killed because of it. Many miracles have been granted through her intercession. Along with prayer, examine your life, including your wardrobe, but also the way that you act around others, and even the content that you share on your phone or on social media. Make changes gradually and thoughtfully. You can also turn to your guardian angel for guidance. That's his job, to guide you. And remind yourself often of the benefits of this virtue. And let Catholic teen fiction provide examples for how and why to live this virtue. Let virtuous characters inspire you, and then you can become that inspiration for others.
Thank you, Theresa, for your clear presentation on the topic of modesty. Now, sadly, modesty seems to be a great challenge for our generation, made much worse by, as I said earlier, social media. But as Theresa said, fictional characters can provide inspiring role models, and story themes can help readers gain a deeper understanding of this topic. Now, besides Theresa's wonderful book, Catholic Teen Books has several other books that deal with the topic of modesty. For example, in Corinna Turner's I Am Margaret, we see that because of religious persecution, Margaret tries to dress modestly without making it clear that that's why she dresses as she does. And in The Fire of Eden by Antony B. Kolenc, Lucy is very keen on avoiding any possible perception of impropriety as she works with Zan and some of the other boys to solve a jewel theft at a medieval priory. And in several scenes, she refuses to enter the boys' dormitory room because she knows that Sister Regina would not approve, choosing instead to sit on the stairs outside the room to have conversations about the mystery. And in my Faith and Kung Fu series, the theme of modesty is relayed through many of the characters. For example, Gabriel is very good at Kung Fu, but doesn't show it off. And he's also very handsome, but he's not conceited. He attracts the ladies with his looks, but he doesn't notice them. He's never dated or even kissed a girl, and he dresses very modestly, even wearing a shirt when swimming with his friends in freeing Tana Rose. And his female friends wear swim dresses, and Tana Rose, the starlet, finds it all very odd. She in turn dresses immodestly with short skirts and tight pants, and she boasts about her fame and flaunts her wealth. In Book 2, Saving Faith, we meet Christian, who is the complete opposite of Gabriel. Now, he too is good at martial arts, but he's arrogant about it. He's also a ladies' man, but unlike Gabriel, he flirts and dates a lot. And in this book, he meets Faith, one of Gabriel's friends, and encourages her to turn away from her modest lifestyle. There are many examples in the Faith and Kung Fu series that reflect modesty. Well, those are my examples. Leslea, what are yours?
Thanks, TM, for those great recommendations. My first suggestion is Cynthia Toney's The Other Side of Freedom. This book has a great scene that shows modesty in attire is relevant for both males and females. In the scene, the main character Sal is surprised by an evening visit from his female friend Antonia. As they sit down on the porch together, Sal becomes embarrassed when he realizes he only has an undershirt covering his chest. For her part, Antonia makes sure to draw her skirt around her legs as they sit down. Susan Peake's Crusader King portrays modesty in a different way. This book portrays the true story of St. Baldwin. Baldwin lived during the time of the Crusades and became king at the young age of 13. Despite the prestige and power of his title, Baldwin retained a modest attitude in all that he did. In fact, he was more comfortable caring for the sick lepers in his kingdom than in hobnobbing with the aristocrats. St. Baldwin is known for his heroic deeds, his steadfast faith, and his humble spirit. And my final suggestion is my novel, Where You Lead. The main character, Eve, has a unique style and doesn't feel the need to act or dress like everyone else. In fact, Eve feels comfortable being more modest in all aspects of her life. Her personality is quite different than one of the other characters featured in the book, who feels the need to flaunt herself and her father's prestige in order to gain attention. Eve's refreshing, joyous attitude shines through, touching those she encounters, including Nick, the handsome senator's son, who she joins on a search for lost Confederate gold. As we can see by all our book examples, as well as through Theresa's discussion, there is so much more to modesty than just the way a woman dresses. Modesty is a manner of presenting ourselves that doesn't bring excessive attention. As TM mentioned, modesty is the opposite of what social media offers. It's the opposite of flaunting ourselves and the things that we have. We probably all could do a better job at pulling back on attention seeking. The need to impress people with what we have, who we are, and what we do. Not only does it inadvertently bring others down, but it instills within us a false sense of worth. We use immodesty to validate ourselves, as if we're defined by these things, when ultimately we're already precious and beloved in God's eyes. We don't have to prove anything. We don't have to flaunt our wealth or lifestyles to be seen. We don't have to speak loudly to be heard. We don't have to dress a certain way to be loved. In fact, if we are seen or heard or loved because of these things, these immodest traits, that love would only be superficial. Modesty is an act of humility where all glory goes to God and not to us. So let's all work on taking the focus off ourselves and put it back where it belongs, on our loving God who created us and who blessed us with all our gifts. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for joining us for Faith Through Fiction. Until next time, check out more of our edifying titles on CatholicTeenBooks.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and sign up for our monthly newsletter. From me, Leslea Wahl, and fellow Catholic Teen Books author T.M. Gaouette, God bless.